Deadly Ingenuity, Exploring Vietnam's Booby Traps. The Vietnam War, a prolonged conflict that embroiled the jungles of Southeast Asia, became infamous for the extensive use of booby traps. These hidden devices were deployed to inflict maximum casualties with minimal resources, turning the landscape into a treacherous battleground. Historically, the reliance on booby traps stemmed from the guerrilla warfare tactics adopted by the Viet Cong. Limited by resources but rich in ingenuity and local terrain knowledge, they utilized traps to level the playing field against better-equipped American and Allied forces. Among the myriad of traps encountered, the punji stick trap, bouncing Betty mines, and tripwires were notably feared. Each had its design tuned to maim or kill unsuspecting soldiers, with some like the punji sticks being deceptively simple, yet brutally effective. Bouncing Betty mines introduced a horrific twist to the mine concept. Once triggered, these mines launched into the air before detonating, ensuring injuries were inflicted at or above waist level. This design maximized the potential for causing lethal harm or debilitating injuries to multiple soldiers. Tripwires, nearly invisible lines strung across paths or attached to explosives, posed a constant threat to soldiers in Vietnam. Their hidden nature made every step potentially lethal, turning the surrounding landscape into a treacherous maze of unseen dangers. Grenade booby traps exemplified chilling efficiency, leveraging the familiar against the unsuspecting. A mere tug on a wire or the disturbance of a seemingly innocuous object could trigger an explosion, delivering chaos and casualties in an instant. The punji stick trap, a sinister design exploiting simplicity and the environment, consisted of sharpened bamboo stakes hidden in pits. Often smeared with feces or poison, these stakes aimed to wound or infect unwary soldiers, emphasizing the trap's gruesome effectiveness. The natural environment played a critical role in the construction of booby traps, with the Viet Cong ingeniously using the jungle's resources to create deadly obstacles. This approach not only camouflaged traps perfectly, but also utilized the terrain's inherent dangers to amplify the trap's lethality. Ingenious yet harrowing, booby traps fashioned from unexploded ordnance turned the remnants of war into lethal devices. Soldiers faced the grim reality that any abandoned shell can be a meticulously engineered trap, ready to detonate with the slightest disturbance. The challenges of detecting and disarming these traps were monumental. With traps often indistinguishable from the surrounding environment, soldiers had to rely on highly specialized training and intuition. Each step could potentially be their last, making the task of clearing areas incredibly tense and perilous. Survivor stories of encounters with booby traps are chilling reminders of their brutality. Many soldiers recount narrowly escaping death, their lives forever changed by the experience. These stories highlight both the physical and mental scars left by the hidden dangers of war. Training to identify and avoid traps became crucial for survival. Soldiers underwent rigorous exercises to sharpen their senses and learn to spot the subtle signs of a trap. This training saved countless lives, but the fear of encountering an unseen danger lingered. The presence of booby traps significantly influenced military tactics and movements. Traditional advances became perilous endeavors, forcing armies to rethink strategies. The unpredictability and fear induced by these hidden dangers slowed progress and added a psychological dimension to the battlefield's challenges. The ethical considerations surrounding the use of booby traps have always been contentious. Critics argue that they cause indiscriminate harm, often remaining a threat long after conflicts have ended, posing risks to civilians. Supporters, however, view them as necessary for leveling the playing field in asymmetric warfare scenarios. In the aftermath of the Vietnam War, the presence of unexploded booby traps and mines continues to pose a significant threat to civilians. These remnants of war lead to tragic accidents years after the conflict has ended, making large areas of land unsafe for habitation or agriculture. Efforts to clear and rehabilitate land affected by booby traps are ongoing, with numerous organizations and government agencies involved. This painstaking process involves detecting, disarming, or safely detonating these devices, a crucial step towards restoring safety and advancing economic development in previously war-torn areas. The legacy of booby traps in Vietnam serves as a stark reminder of the long-lasting impact of conflict on both the environment and civilian populations. Lessons learned from their use have influenced international humanitarian law and spurred global demining efforts, aiming to prevent future tragedies. As we reflect on the enduring impact of booby traps on war and memory, it's clear they represent more than just physical hazards. They stand as chilling reminders of the psychological warfare and the pervasive fear that soldiers and civilians alike had to endure. Their presence in history books and former battlefields continues to remind us of the need for peace and reconciliation,